Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest and another episode of Search for Fairies with me. Today we are going to go through a photo that I took from the Melbourne Cemetery on July 4th, 2021. We take Sammy there quite often so that he can run around with no leash. They have a section of the cemetery that has no stones and it's kind of wooded like this. So he enjoys being able to go and be free for a little while. And this is one of the photos that I took. There are a number of them, so if we don't find a whole lot in this, we may pull up a second one. So, as always, to get started, we're going to take this photograph up to 200% and scroll over to the left and down and get started in the left-hand corner and see if we can find any fairies in this photo. This is just a small clump at this cemetery that has always fascinated me, and I've never had my camera with me. I have a phone camera, but I don't like to use that when it doesn't take pictures like I like from my digital camera. So I took my camera with on the 4th and went all the way around this little bushy area that has fascinated me for ages. And up here I see kind of a little one, looks like hiding underneath the leaf. So I'm going to crop him and take a little better look if I can. Whoops, did that wrong, didn't I? We need to size down a bit to crop properly so we can actually get a decent pull here. All right, so back over to where we were. Let's take this down a little bit. We know where he is. Okay. So now we're going to take him up 100. Oh, goodness. 100. And I'm going to take him up a bit more than that for you so that you can also see what I'm seeing. All right, so let's get the pointer. And here's the leaf that this little one is kind of tucked under. If you can see, we have a face. Here's an eye, a nose, mouth, and here's the body. We can even see shoes on this little one. He's got kind of baggy pants. Here's a hand, but he's got this look on his face. Let's see if I can take it up just a little bit more and not blur it too horribly. So maybe you can see the look on his face. Okay, so he's got his head kind of down a little bit. He's looking off to that direction, which would be right for him. And he's just looking grouchy, like something really didn't go his way. So, yeah, I think we'll keep that one. So we've got it. I think what I'll do here is just mark them as we go and then go back to get them after so that you can have better pictures at the end of this video, as we always do. And we're going red, going red. All right. So now we take it back up to 200%. It's always exciting to find one right away. Okay, so we're going to take it all the way back over just to be sure. Bring it down just the tiniest bit. All right, let's cruise. If you look up here, it almost looks like a horse, but it could be mistaken for something else. So So continuing across, and once you see them, you definitely can't not see them. It's kind of cool. And there are others in here that I am seeing, but nothing that really is, you know, one of those where I just have to look and where I feel like you guys would miss out on something if I didn't pay attention. So we're just going to keep on cruising over and see if we can find another one that stands out. I see one right here. I see kind of a hat, eye, nose, mouth, and not sure if that's the back of the head, but I can't really, there's no body to tell. Might have feet here. Not sure on that one. We'll go back. And sorry if I get silent sometimes. I get very focused in on looking, especially when there's this much foliage. They can be hiding pretty much anywhere when there's this much. So I tend to get in the zone, maybe you could say. All right, there is something down here that kind of strikes me as super cute. So I'm going to drop this and grab it and see. Right on the edge. A lot of times they are right on the edge. It's kind of amazing. Just within sight. This one looks like he might have been running out of the picture. All right, so we're going to take it up 100. Take it up 200 so you can see. All right, now keeping in mind that they can morph into a lot of different things, and I see a face here, right here, and an eye, and then I also see a foot and a leg, and it looks like the other leg is back here, but there's no foot attached to that one, because it looks like this little one was trying really hard to morph into a leaf as it was running. There's even a little hand here, kind of faded off behind. But yeah, he's a cutie. I think we'll keep him. So let's go back to the main picture and get him marked. All right, taking it back up to 200. Now we've been all the way across the bottom of this one, the bottom tier. So we are going to, whoops, thought it looked a little large. So we are going to find a spot to move up one tier. I think we will use this thing here that looks kind of like an eye. Move up there, right above it. There we go. All right, so now we can move our way across this one. As always, if you happen to see something that I don't see, please do your best to let me know in the comments and kind of try to describe where on the picture it might be, because I don't always see them. In fact, sometimes as I'm going through editing the video, I actually see ones that I missed. And at that point, it's a little late to share that with you. as we move across. And as before, there are certain ones in here that, you know, possibility, but not absolutely certain beyond a shadow of a doubt kind of thing. Also, sometimes you may find that these branches, or even sometimes the light in a photo, will follow the shape of what could possibly be a fairy. Pretty sure you can probably see this. It has an eye, two eyes, nose, mouth, kind of laughing. This could be an arm, and not really showing legs per se. And because of how those are outlined, I very rarely grab them because they really do look as though they're not natural. They are, but they look like they're not. So I try to steer away. And even though I'm showing, you know, the picture with my pictures, it causes question. So you can just see it on here and see it for yourself that sometimes they really are outlined by sticks or light. In this case, sticks. So we'll just keep on moving on over. See if we can find any other beings here. See one up here that could has an eye there and an eye there. Almost looks like an animal of some sort, but I can't see the rest of the body or even another portion of the body. So we're going to let that one go too. And as always, you can always mark the pictures for yourself that you take. You know, if you see something like that and you just want to have that picture, by all means. I just don't share ones like that in videos or put them on like my decks of cards or anything like that, because they're just not powerful enough images to let people realize that there really are beings out there that they can photograph. And some of the formations you really have to look twice at. Kind of like here, you know, what am I missing there? It looks like it's really standing out, but it's really not. They're just really cool looking plants. And we have kind of the shape of a being in the head here, but not really seeing anything to convince me that it's not just leaves making the shape. That is what I look for, because many people talk about pareidolia, and yes, there is such a thing. I absolutely say there is, because I can find beings in carpet and in curtains and wallpaper and things like that. It is different in the wild, though, in my opinion. I feel like many of the pictures that I have taken kind of speak for themselves. There's a few questionable, I'm sure, but I think they speak for themselves. And I just discovered here this little guy right here. And he is trying to blend at least his face. So we're going to grab that one and see what we have. So let's take it down in size. Really got to pay attention to where I'm at here. Okay. Sometimes I lose them when I downsize, because the way the picture looks changes a lot. You wouldn't think so, but it does. All right, so we're just going to take it up right off the bat, 200, so that you can also see. All right, so when we look at this little one, we can see, I think he's wearing a hat. That's the dark part here. There's dark over here too, but that's his background. And then we have a head right here. We have an eye and another eye. Here's the nose, here's the mouth, and we can see one arm and a hand it looks like, and appears that he's wearing either really dark pants or a robe of some sort. And this one, it looks like the head is bigger than the body, and I do find that sometimes. So we are going to hang on to him because I think he's kind of a cool looking fairy. He is trying to blend his face. Almost lost him. And you know, it could be such a thing as, let me grab that again, because I might not have grabbed enough of him. Let me look again. Sometimes this is necessary, and we'll go 204 and see what we have. A little bit more. And 304. Okay, well, what I was looking at is it is possible that he is sitting down and that this is his jacket right here, part of his jacket. This could be a hand as well. So here we've got this. But what I was looking at is this. It almost looks like he might be sitting down, and these would be his feet, his shoes, and his legs. And that would put him more in proportion here from this part. You know, just this being the body would make his head very large. And I do get them like that sometimes. But I'm thinking that he is sitting, and this is part of him, but it just kind of looks like his feet are so together. We're not getting a whole lot for detail here. So I think I will hold that whole thing when I'm marking and use that. And that's something that you can decide for yourself when you are working on one of your own photos, is whether or not you feel like a whole body is found, or if it's like this one, questionable as to how it sits. And eventually you'll see it. I also believe I saw something to the right of this guy. All right, first I want to make sure I'm in the right place here. So I am going to start from where I was, find the eye, there it is right there, go back up to it and just above it, like so, and cruise my way across. All right, what I'm seeing here is right here. Now we have a faded out face, very similar to this one right here. And it looks like we have like an elfin hat, almost with a shiny little bell on the end is the way that that looks. And I really don't think that I can ignore this. Almost looks like right here, if you look, he's like turning his head clear around to look at that one, but I think this is a foot and a leg, and this is an outfit because it comes up here. But yeah, he's turning his head, looking over his shoulder at this one. So I am going to bring this down in size again. And we're going to grab that one and take a closer look. Where'd he, oh, there. It's like, where'd he go? Yeah, it changes so much sometimes when you're grabbing something and going from 200 to 100. You wouldn't think it'd be that big a deal, but it is. 322. So you really have to make sure you know where you're going. All right, so hopefully you can see what I'm seeing here. We have the face. We have an eye. We can't quite see the other eye. We do see a nose. We see a mouth, the chin. This one even has an ear, okay, right here. And as I said, he's looking over his shoulder. It's almost unnatural the way that the head is turned. But I see the body and leg and a foot here and the hat. And I'm sure there's this got to be a part of an arm here. But we're not really seeing that one clearly. But yeah, I'm going to keep that one too, because it's very much like the other in its facial features. And so let us mark that one. Keep losing that one, so yes, marking it is important. Alrighty. Deselect. Alright, so as always, we have to go down to the bottom again and grab our place. And if you hear an odd noise, it's my Chihuahua down at my feet snoring. He would normally be on my lap, but it didn't work like that for this video. Alright, so we are on our way across again, just kind of double check in. And yes, I see this one too. And you know, I see arms, I see kind of a face, I see hair. I'll have to go back to that one because I'm not real convinced, but I did see it. So if you had seen that one and wanted to say something going, why didn't you catch that one? Just let you know I did see it. And there are so many faces in here. It's just crazy. But being discerning is necessary. And now when you see those two circled, you can tell they know each other. They're part of maybe not the same species, but they got to be close. So we're going to go all the way back over to the left now and find a spot to move up another tier. Let's use, let's say this here. Move up to right above that. All right, so we're getting a little higher up here and things look like they got a little more blurry because that's not where I was focused. Doesn't mean that there's not something here, but we're going to just be absolutely certain. Should clear up a little bit more as we move to the right because I was more focused there. And I don't honestly really focus. I just kind of think to myself, this looks like a good place, and I snap a picture. I don't get too overly concerned, but I do try to make sure that I'm not too far away so that anything that I would get would be extremely blurry unless it was super large. And I don't try to get so close that things are so clear that a being, a fairy, would not show up because my photography was too close. And I'm really only seeing a couple of things that might. There's something here. Almost, but I'm seeing, when I move my head, I see two different things. I can see a head with eyes and ear, but the lower part is cut off by this branch. And then there's more down here. Almost looks like legs, but I can also see it in profile. So those are really hard to tell for sure if they are something or not. And then I thought I saw back here, right here, shiny face, at least half of it. Yeah, I'm not real sure on that, so I'm going to let that go. And I think we have only just a little bit of the picture left, so let's move up. We don't need to go to the bottom for that, so we're just going to cruise across the top here and see the portion that we didn't see yet. And just double check that we didn't miss anything. And a lot of times, like I've told you, I can go through a picture a month later and go, how did I miss that? So never hurts to go through pictures more than once. Okay, so we are pretty well finished with this picture, and I do believe there was something down in the first tier that I said we would perhaps relook at, and I can't remember what that was, so we're going to just quick scroll over and see if anything else catches my eye. And if it does, that's probably what I was referring to, and you might remember. Maybe I showed you. I don't know. Don't remember. And, oh, it was this guy. I think we'll pass on him too, just because there's just not enough of him to be absolutely certain that he's a fairy. And sometimes a head is all you need because it's that clear, but not always. So again, it's something you learn to be discerning about what you try to share and what you don't share. And even this little guy is a little questionable, but again, you know, since I did the video on watching a leaf or watching a fairy come in to Melbourne Cemetery in the form of or through the leaf, like coming through the leaf, so just in case whatever he was coming into would be scary or that he would have to quickly hide, he could very quickly morph into that leaf. So I don't discard this at all. I don't. Something like this reminds me of that, and so I'm very happy with this little guy because I can see body parts. So I think that's probably going to be it. I do see kind of a face here, an eye, a nose, almost a dog face, but again, I just can't see enough of it to be absolutely certain. All right, so I think that is probably it. As always, you will find the fairies that we found, and wow, for a change, we actually found 4 of them. I don't think we've found 4 in a photo since we've started this Search for Fairies with Me series, have we? But I will put them, oh, hold on. What do we have here? Let me re-enlarge here. All right, so do you see this ear, this head? Here's an eye, here's a nose, here's an eye. Oh, and I believe that's a hat. Gotta be a hat there because the ear is following a line here. And I do believe this is part of this being. Now, if you look over here, look up here and see their faces and the coloring that goes with those faces. We have that coloring here too. Let me take it down again and look at it from this way. Bring that up so we can see those guys too. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going to pull it and see. Not exactly sure if it goes all the way down or not. All right, so let us make that a bit bigger. We're gonna go 322. This is a larger one, so. Oh, now see, the head is there. You definitely see it, but I can't make out how the body might go. Maybe we are just seeing the head. I just don't know. Definitely see a little guy here. See the beard and the eye and the eye and the nose and that funky little hat and this. But if we go back to the picture, he won't stand out. Well, this has to be a call. And I think with this one, because I can't find a body to connect it to, it just kind of looks like a floating head there. And I think I'm just going to leave that one out of my markings. Not that I'm trying to get all full body ones, but we know it's there. You know it's there. If you would like to crop it, that's totally up to you, but I need to leave it. Or do I? It's just that the head is so clear. But we've got these guys. All right, we're just gonna go with it the way that we have. But yeah, we have 4. And thank you so much for joining me. It's always fun to be able to go through photos with somebody. And I know this is a virtual with somebody, but this can be a very lone type of work. So it is nice to share it in this way. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you again. Take care.